Holy Week has thus far been filled with the kind of tragedy that should make all of us more reflective on the victory won by Jesus Christ on the cross and how very much his enemies hate him. They hate his church and all things that point to the true, the good, and the beautiful. This will be another short video. I want our eyes and hearts to be focused entirely on Christ today, if possible. To that end, I want to talk very briefly about the strangely positive fruits of the destruction of Notre Dame, which I still maintain was an act of arson. The tragedy of the fire has shaken people across the Western world to their core. I've seen numerous accounts of lapsed Catholics who have been so moved by the fire and collapse of the spire that they've gone to confession and returned to trying to live an active life as a faithful Catholic. That is something to rejoice over, even if that means that the person returning to the church does so in a bad Novus Ordo parish, complete with the liturgical dancers and feminists serving at the altar that we've all known so much about. These people have decided to return to Christ, and that is worth celebrating. His sacrifice on the cross was for anyone and everyone who recognizes that he is Lord and submits themselves to his authority and the authority he bestowed upon his church, and attempts to work out their salvation with fear and trembling. That salvation isn't easy, even with Christ's sacrifice, which is why sometimes tragedies almost have to happen to shake some people into recognizing that not only does evil exist, but so too does God, and that we must submit to his divine authority, for the time draws short for each and every one of us. Stories of reversions are excellent and praiseworthy, but another positive fruit of the tragedy is that the whole world now has the words Our Lady on their lips. Notre Dame literally means Our Lady, for those who hadn't realized that. The fact that the civilized world is distraught over the destruction of a monument to God named in the honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary is something to find solace in, for it is a reminder that, while things will certainly get much worse from here, on the other side of the chastisement is not only the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, but also the submission of the people of the world to the reign of Christ the King. The fire at Notre Dame was certainly a minor chastisement that hints at much worse things to come, but the people reverting to the faith and the people of the world having Our Lady on their lips and experiencing distress over a monument to God named in her honor is a sign of that triumph to come. So go to Mass today if you are able. I know it's not a holy day of obligation, but there are many graces to be had by going to Mass on Holy Thursday. Make a good confession before Easter Sunday if you haven't yet, though the rest of us do ask that you keep the confession as concise as possible due to how long the lines for confession will certainly be, and honor God by praying for those reverting to the faith in this time of crisis, and for those who are not Catholic but are distressed at the destruction of Notre Dame, for that distress they are feeling is that internal hunger for God that any real convert can speak of. Pray that those with a spiritual hunger follow it home. Have a blessed Holy Thursday.